case, I've had a few lives, so this was my first album, but then it had been records before.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have a lot to say. I guess, that first Ramones album, because you could take the balance on your stereo, go one way and just hear the bass, and it's a great way to learn.
Yeah.
But it's a great record, and I don't know, man. I guess first records, that's interesting. All right, let me really zoom in on that.
The Ramones is mine, so you remember that. Ramones mine? Okay.
Yeah, it's a statement of a record, I think. The first Dead Kennedys did, a Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, Circle Jerks, Group Sex. I don't know, I don't like the first Neil Young record. I like the second Neil Young record. Everybody knows it's nowhere. Same thing with Wilco. I like AM, but I like Being There better.
Oh, that's a tough call.
Ryan Adams' Heartbreaker is a great one. And Pete Yorn, Music for the Morning After, just it's real strong.
Yeah.
I like the second Gaslight Anthem record, 59 Sound. A lot of people think that's the first record, but it's the second.
It's hard to choose some of theirs.
I like the second Kills record better than the first. All right, I'm going to answer. Oh, the first Cheap Trick record.
Okay, the first Cheap Trick.
First Cheap Trick, first Van Halen, first Cars records for that period in time.
Oh, those are yours.
Yeah, that was a time when we learned, as fans, we learned what the second sophomore slump was about. As a fan, I never understood. First, Cars album so good. Second one, not so much. And the first Van Halen, we really liked it. The second, not so much. And then you realize in time that people have their whole life to write these records, and then they have 2 months on the road doing drugs, playing gigs, partying, whatever, driving, traveling to write the second record. But Led Zeppelin 2 was written on the road, and I like that better than Led Zeppelin 1. So.
Wow, I think I do too.
And the second DOA album, Hardcore 81. But I know I'm missing something. The first New York Dolls album.
Yeah, I got that one.
Brought that up. I go with Pretenders.
Yeah, that first Pretenders, that's a good one. All right, yeah.
Wow,
Take that for 5. Bing.
Hendrix, are you experienced?
Not so big in the Hendrix department, but I'm sure you're right. So.
That's why I said this is good.
I could be wrong, that's all.
No, you're probably right. First X-Ray Specs album, only X-Ray Specs album. I guess the Bad Brains first full length, the Raw cassette. Full length for favorite first cassette.
Favorite first cassette. Wow.
Rasta colors, all 3 colors came in different colored cassettes.
Yeah, it was before the colored vinyl, I guess. Well, I think there was a little bit of colored vinyl back then, but not like they do it now.
But like the first Beatles, first Stones, all those bands grew a lot more, I think.
Yeah, and it's hard back, because you'd love to say the first Chuck Berry, but everything was so singled, where they put all those singles together.
Yeah, it wasn't a long playing thing.
Yeah, all those Chuck Berry singles and Jerry Lee Lewis singles are tremendous.
And the first Jane's Addiction record is that weird live record on XXX, so to me, nothing shocking. I like better, so I don't know. I know there's even the first AC/DC record's cool, but it's not. They got better. I guess some people grow, but the first Cheap Trick, I don't think they ever made a record that good. It was Jack Douglas production.
What was yours, Boston?
Yeah.
I didn't say Boston.
The first Boston record, we're here in Boston, and I have a prog rock Tom Schultz Rockman with Flying Saucer guitar is going to land. The second album won't include the lead singer.
Now we're going to do our big main topic of the show, which is our favorite debut albums. And we've been planning the show for about a month now. And since day one of Let's Do the Show, we decided, well, let's make the first one debut albums. And every day I'm getting texts from this one going, it's got to be, literally, it's our only conversation that we've had for the past
I debate it with everyone I come in contact with.
Yeah, he just walks up to strange people and just
that.
goes what do you think, debut album? The guy's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So, and we all have various musical tastes, as I'm sure the band does, so we're going to ask them to see what they think. And we're going to move right down the line. And I'm going to start with Phil.
That's me.
And Phil's going to give his 3. It might not be top 3.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's difficult to say that these are my top 3 debut albums because it's just, it always changes, depending on the mood or depending what I go back to. But right off the bat, I got to go with the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are You Experienced? I think that is, I just keep going back to it. I don't think you can really go wrong.
He played guitar?
He was a guitar player, and he was...
African-American?
Yes, African-American.
60s?
Pretty good.
Late 60s.
He did all right for himself, you know. That, the first album, Are You Experienced, had Purple Haze, Fire, Foxy Lady. And then the rest of the album was equally as grand, but I don't know how you can go wrong with those 3 songs on one album. It's crazy.
I'm not knocking the album, but I'm gonna plead ignorance and say I've never listened to a Jimi Hendrix album from beginning to end.
You make me cry tears of pain, but that's okay.
you know.
I celebrate the differences. You know how I roll with that,
celebrate
you
the
know?
differences.
How could you miss Jimi Hendrix, though? Come on.
Well, I haven't missed him. I mean, he's everywhere.
Right, but
you
you
walk
just-
into
you
any
don't-
Spencer Gifts and there's the glow-in-the-dark posters
Right.
with his hair. Like, I don't miss him. I know who he is.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, meh.
You don't...
You seen it?
All right, give me one of yours.
I got, this is very difficult to come up
Yeah.
with. I mean,
It's hard. It's not
I had to
easy.
consult with my younger brother on this, and we came up with the first Black Sabbath record, which for me, hugely influential record across the board, defined a genre of music. I think that's tough to beat.
Please, give me one.
Well, they're really popular now because they won a Grammy, but Arcade Fire, Funeral.
Okay. All right. Arcade Fire, Funeral.
What about you, Mike? What about you, Mr.
Oh, I saved
Superstar?
me for last.
Well, okay. Sorry.
And I know you guys are just giving you three, and then it might not necessarily be your top three.
Right.
I'm going to give you my top one
Number one. Number one.
and say there's this little band that came out of Queens. I know. I mean, you're going to be like, who?
No,
but
It's The Who?
No.
I thought they were English.
This little band that came out of Queens, and you guys might not get these guys because I'm just like the younger, sort of like just rough and tumble, sort of like
It's true. You're
kinda
really
guy.
rugged, too.
But there's this little band called The Ramones.
Heard of them?
all brothers.
Oh yeah, they're
They're
all
all,
good.
no, seriously, they're all related.
They
Good
were
point.
quadruplets.
And the Ramones
Yeah.
self-titled.
They are.
And I'll tell you a little story. I'm going to bring you back to when I was in middle school, and I remember being on the bus, and everybody at the back of the bus, they had like the little mustaches, little dirt, like sort of metal mustache. I don't know what you're going to call it. And they had like the puffy sneakers, like the puffy sneakers and like the really tight pants and the jean jackets. And I just remember them being really big into Metallica, and they put the Ramones album on as a joke on the bus. They had it in the boombox, like as a joke, and they were just saying, like, there's no solos. Like, why do we want to hear this? There's no solos, and they're singing together, and they sound like girls, I remember them saying, so. The
Ramones sound like girls.
Because they harmonize.
They had long hair.
I love Kill 'Em All, but is there any harmonies in Kill 'Em All?
No.
All right, give me another one. You've thought this
Number
out in
two,
advance. love how
I
you're
feel
like-
I feel strange about even saying it after that whole interview thing, but I keep going back to Van Halen 1 as one of the pivotal
Well, we heard from Eddie.
pivotal debut
We
albums.
heard from Mr.
You know what?
Van Halen.
That's good that you feel like that after watching
I
what we watched. 'Cause
if
that's
anything,
good. That
if
shows
anything, that made
passion.
it even better. Like,
It shows passion.
because like even you don't need any type of mental faculties to create like
Just speed.
Genius.
apparently.
Eddie
Just a
is
lot of
fair game
speed.
for mockery at
Genius.
this point. He really is.
As you saw.
But that first Van Halen record, absolutely, you can't dispute it.
yeah, it's
I
Can't
can.
dispute it.
yeah anyone can dispute it, but
I
I
mean-
can't. I think it's right there.
For me, it's just a little
I-
too wanky, and it's a little too like just too into itself.
Wanky?
Wanky.
What's wank?
Just
What
a
does that
little too
mean?
Just like
I'm gonna look that up.
Term.
Wanky?
you can look that up. It's
Can we
just
get on that?
I think if you have distortion on your guitar, it's not wanky anymore.
just-
I think wanky means when there's no distortion. It just
I just feel like they really
Brought up
love
a lot
the
of
sound
porn.
of their own songs.
Just kidding.
Van Halen.
Yeah,
Well, they like themselves a little.
Do you
bit.
know
I
who
think there was
discovered
a little
them?
bit of a
who discovered it?
Take a guess. Here's a little game for you, pal. Little game
It's
for
my
you, buddy.
show. What do you mean?
I know. I'm turning it right around on
David
you.
Cassidy.
Really close.
Okay.
Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Oh, he's such a dick.
Oh,
All right, what do you have, Elise?
Well, I'm on this little website called Urban Dictionary that everybody loves, and the first definition of wanky is indulgent, pretentious, simultaneously showy, and useless.
There you go. That is
Wow.
Van Halen.
and I think you summed up your feelings in it.
Yeah, everybody.
Properly.
showed me.
The second definition, masturbatory.
Van Halen, everybody.
Typically describes boring music, like 3-minute guitar solos.
Wow.
Van Halen, everybody.
I think
See also wankish.
beforehand. You looked this up beforehand.
No, this is.
Did he look this up beforehand?
Well, am I looking up anything in a dictionary, even if it's the urban kind?
Do you guys
what?
know each other?
Ah,
I just
There's collusion going on.
All right.
This is collusion.
all right,
I'll tell you, he doesn't do any
Baseball,
research.
you guys
Come
would
to the
be,
mic. Give
you'd
me
be
some of
fine.
yours.
someone's rigging the league.
Somebody's rigging the league.
All right, we're gonna go over to the band and ask some of theirs. And all right, what do you guys have?
The first album that came to mind off the top of my head was actually band TV on the Radio.
Okay.
Desperate Youth Bloodthirst.
Oh, okay.
Boo.
Couple claps.
Just kidding.
All right.
But yeah, I just really love that album, and I felt like they have a really specific sound that I I don't know. I don't hear a lot, and that was the first one that came to mind.
All right. Okay. Cool. What else?
First, my favorite debut album, probably because when I heard it, was Blood for Blood, Spit Your Last Breath.
Wow. Blood for
Because
Blood,
it was
all right.
probably the most brutal CD I had ever heard at the time.
Ooh,
It's
HXC.
all about,
Is that klezmer music?
I was all about hardcore, and it was
Apparently.
it just has, you don't even like listening to the song at certain times. It's just angry. But when you want to hear it, it's perfect for me.
All right. Cool. Okay. Blood for Blood. All right.
Blood for Blood?
Okay.
Oh.
All right. What else? The other guys. What do you
I
got?
was actually, it took me a minute to come up with something. Originally, I actually came up with Alkaline Trio's debut album because it is a favorite album of mine. But Tim Barry's Revolution is an awesome,
All right.
awesome album. And
Okay.
Very, very favorite of mine.
All right. Wide spectrum. Okay. One more. What do you got?
I'm really bad with chronological orders of things, but I do agree with the Tim Barry though. That's really
Oh, yeah. It's one of the biggest
I know.
Do you know
Wow.
And then there was the band consensus of Ready to Die, and
Okay.
what was the other one?
Oh,
License to
Oh.
Ill.
Nice. I'm on board
You
with
can't
that.
really go wrong with either of those two.
Yeah, you can totally go wrong.
No
with the
Sleep Till
Beastie
Brooklyn.
Boys. Ugh.
Come on.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm with you a little bit on that
Oh
one.
boy!
Love that.
All right, well
Whiny.
there we go.
Good stuff,
That was the
girls.
bands.
It's hot
And
stuff.
I'm gonna throw out another little album, and nobody's gonna disagree with this one. I don't have to give the whole story about the little band, but Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Come on.
I can't disagree with that album. I
Are you
think
guys
that
too young for that?
that
Like,
is
the
such
band
a-
you feel-
just I remember when that came out.
Are you two thumbs down on that?
Yeah,
Wink
I mean, I
fest.
can respect the how successful that band became, and like, you know, you sporting events, you hear the music, but does it do anything for me? No, man, that stuff blows. Sorry.
Don't hold back.
I don't want to paint a picture, but I'm gonna. You back in, let's say, 1987.
Sure.
You're probably listening. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna.
A lot
I'm
of
not gonna
Saga.
assume,
It
but-
was Saga and Missing Persons.
Okay.
Which,
now,
now, do you know? Okay. You don't even know who Saga is, though.
I know Saga and like probably Wham.
No.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
so now you're listening to that stuff, Wham, Saga, and Missing Persons.
Every day.
So
Just those three
In a
records
big
over and
little
over again.
brief.
and then Guns N' Roses comes out, who's like just dangerous and just creepy and weird, and
Drugged
just
out.
like in your face and drugged out, and like it just blows all that Poison and Saga and Mr. Big and all that other stuff that I'm sure you love, but it changed everything, did it not?
You're right. I changed
Thank
my
you,
mind.
everybody.
I changed my mind. Guns N' Roses is awesome! Don't
I'm not trying to convince. I'm just saying.
November Rain. What a tune.
Not on the first album though.
I know, but
He's just trying to
Still.
poke fun.
Appetite for Destruction's had the song You're Crazy, which to me was an unbelievable little punk ditty when it comes down to
Rocket
it.
Queen.
Rocket Queen,
who,
Night Train,
who produced
Welcome to
that
the
record?
Jungle,
I'm just interested. Who produced it?
Mike
Can you
Klink.
find
Is it
that
Mike
out?
Klink?
Who
Mike
produced
Klink, I think.
Appetite for Destruction?
I believe that is in my
'Cause
job
it's-
description here.
It's a great sounding record. I'll concede that.
Oh,
but
really?
Stylistically,
It
doesn't-
sounds good,
It does sound good.
but the
and that-
music's not good.
It for me it's
It was
it's a mesh
recorded well,
of
Michael.
like
There's
that
a difference.
punk and
There's a difference. You
Aerosmith
can
hard
record
rock.
something well,
Love it.
and it can still, suck.
All right, Phil, give me a third.
I am going to throw out there, I don't think this will be popular, but that's okay, the Pretenders' first album.
Okay.
I really enjoy that album a
And
lot.
Crickets and the-
Constantly go back to it. I
They're too
can't-
young to know who the Pretenders
No,
are.
they're not.
If you know who the Clash are, you know who the Pretenders are.
Well,
It's that
let's not
simple.
get crazy.
I'm not getting crazy.
Let's not. Let's just really. Come on. Okay, Pretenders. Do you agree with that?
I think it's a great first debut record.
It is a
I
great.
like it better than that
Unbelievable.
Guns and Jerry's.
All right.
Guns and Poses.
All right.
I have an answer for your question. Mike Klink
Thank you.
I had
was the
that.
producer.
I had that.
Well,
Come on.
Um,
I whispered it in your ear.
I have a couple more albums.
Oh.
I'm trying
I was
to.
getting to you, but let's have
No,
them.
no. Sorry, boys.
Ladies first.
I like to infuse the hipster douche sort of thing. Just put my belt on sideways.
All
And,
right, bring it on.
What's a hipster douche?
Well, she can look that up in Urban Dictionary after.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with the Mars Volta, De Loust in the Comatorium.
Wow,
You have no idea.
that is hipster.
Klezmer?
I can't even.
At the Drive-In, singer of At the Drive-In.
No,
Just klezmer,
What else? What else you
klezmer
got?
music.
Give me another one.
You know what? I'll give you my last one. You don't have to come back to me that way.
Wow. Attention.
Yes. Interpol, turn on the bright lights.
All right.
Oh,
You're just
I
around
just-
here,
yeah.
right? Just around.
You guys are too old to understand.